Today has finally come that Mario Party, the top 100, has been just recently released today. Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I'm Piglet here once again, and I'm back for some more of the yet again for the Muxy Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Sonic and SEGA All-Stars Racing for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Nintendo Wii, Nintendo DS, and PC. So, last time we've gone through the Samba Cup with II, and today for this video folks is the fact that we're going to be moving on to the grand finale of the Grand Prix mode, and I thought to myself I might as well save Sonic for last, so I might as well pick Sonic for today. So let's get this thing going then, shall we? Assuming if I got my controller activated, there we go. And we once again going to go to advanced difficulty, and onwards to the final cup in the game, Monkey Cup. So the first course we're going to be running into in this cup is the forms of the returning from Casino Park, but now it calls it Bingo Party, because, you know, this is actually the third time we're going to be exploring for this environment.
Greetings, race fans. You're at Casino Park, and our races are all ready to roll. I'm telling you, on this course, the house almost always wins.
Alright, so let's get started here with Bingo Party, because obviously the music selection I'm going to be choosing this time is Back to Back from Sonic Rush in, I believe this is actually based off of Water Palace, so that makes it pretty obvious with this particular background music you can clearly hear on screen. But even then, I'll just be quiet for a few seconds to clearly know what I recognize this music is from. Man, I love that tune, especially when I usually found that to be one of my favorite stages in the game in Sonic Rush, despite it was bottomless pit heavy compared to how it does it in, I would say the same thing for Sonic Advance 3, because usually between the Sonic Advance games, and including the likes of Sonic Pocket Adventure for the Neo Geo Pocket Color, and especially notable of the Sonic Rush trilogy, and even Sonic Generations for the 3DS and Sonic Lost World for the 3DS, they always attempt to bring us to the bottomless pits between Sonic Advance 3 and Sonic Rush and all that stuff. I don't know what it is for me though, but anyways though. So this stage is feels very similar to how it does it in Roulette Road and Pinball Highway, but except the fact that it's all basically tons of number balls we're going to be seeing on screen, in addition to these little, a lot more poker chips which you can clearly see on screen. So even then though, you can definitely see this little roulette wheel's been going on here, which I think is really cool. By the way, don't touch those springs, by the way, because, you know, take a note from Sonic Adventure 1 in the forms of the Emerald Coast level, that you're going to get bounced all over the place. Even then though, you just get out to, like, you know, be very cautious with these springs, honestly, because they always are trying to able to against you. So anyways. So you remember why I mentioned this before at the beginning part of this particular episode, is the fact that I've managed to research is that Mario Party the Top 100 has been recently released today in the European countries. Even though, still looking forward to it, and I definitely can't wait for it. Even though we got 3 more days left until Christmas, because today was actually forms of the 22nd of December, so in that case that might be seems worth a con. So anyways, and yeah, this is actually a perfect timing for me to be able to actually just to get myself excited with, you know, the Mario Party the Top 100 has been released today. After whenever I just, or before I'm able to actually finish this Let's Play alone. Well, I'm still going to be tackling through the extra stuff of how this game offers to be. Like, for instance, you know, the extra DLC of how this game contains, including the other modes as well. So even then, I thought it was worth, you know, just trying to mention it for this part. So anyway, that's it for Bingo Party. I almost said Bingo Highway for some reason, because I kept on thinking I was playing Sonic Heroes again. But anyways, now we move on to the final Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg track, which is based off of from Dino Mountain, it says, and it's called Lava Lair. So, at least we got some lava environments here and there for once. At least as far as I was hoping it would, it might as well go be like that.
Yeah, it's race day, and we are live from blistering Blizzard Castle. Of course, no track's complete without a dangerous volcanic section.
Of course, I'm gonna go for that just fine, announcer. Even though I've played this for my own time as well, so even though I pretty much know what I'm doing. So anyway, let's get started. Got myself a lovely speed boost start off. So even though that we're like to able to actually just, you know, trying to get ourselves things going. So another thing we'd like to point out for this point, folks, is that I haven't sort of mentioned about this in the beginning part of this Let's Play, is that I'm assuming this game also came out on the arcade machines back in 2011, and also at the same time, I believe it also came out on the iPhone version of the game as well. But there are some noticeable differences I might add from the console variation on the console versions of Sonic and SEGA All-Stars Racing, as opposed to both the iPhone version and the arcade versions. That the arcade version is pretty obvious because of how the fact that usually, normally in the arcade machines, they always bring up a time limit in certain racing games. I know for a certain fashion for the likes of Mario Kart Arcade GP 1, 2, and DX, and especially noticeable in the most recent one, Sonic and SEGA All-Stars Racing. So even then, I really don't know if the sequel got the arcade version on that, but even then, I've heard the sequel, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, doesn't have it, the arcade version or the arcade machine or something like that. Although I may be wrong about that, but even then, I'll try to be able to research on that again. So, anyways, as far as you see on this particular track, especially noticeable the last two tracks we're going to be running to, at this point is that the tracks themselves are going to be a little bit more difficult this time because due to those curves we're going to go through. Because I recently discovered of how the fact that in order to able to actually bypass those curves easily is the fact that not only do I need to able to drift and all that stuff, but I have to let go of the accelerate button until I'm able to drift properly. So even then though, that I would able to actually just, you know, don't get bumped into those certain walls and all that kinds of stuff, which makes it a little bit more, you know, easier aside from that though, but that's just how it is for me. Okay, so it looks like I'm doing so. Oh shoot! I lose control of myself there. Stupid, amigo right there. Anyway though, oh yeah, take a note from Flame Core from Sonic 06 is that one of those hazards you do need to worry about is one of those little fallen molten rocks, which much like Flame Core, if they manage to land on the ground, I can at least expect that they would able to actually spin you out. So even though you do need to watch out for those, and hopefully you should be able to actually avoid those just in time. So at least I was hoping for it anyway. But anyways, we got one more lap in Lava Lair. Actually, Lava Lair wasn't too bad. Although there's only one moment that you're gonna have to worry about the most, and that was in forms of, well, obviously sharp curves and all that stuff, where you have to do like a hell of a lot more drifting. Especially noticeable with this little trick jumps that you do need to actually just avoid about, because if you have too much speed on those particular sections alone, you'll easily overshoot yourself, and then as a result, you fall into the bottomless pit really fast. I mean, it's not a consistent problem by any means. I just want to mention about this anyway, for those of you who might have missed it, all that stuff. So yeah, that's all I can really just try to talk for this point, folks, because, you know... oh yeah, another thing I need to point out though is that there's also another version, as I mentioned earlier, the iPhone version of the game. Obviously, the difference here is the fact that the iPhone version usually falls around, you know how it works, the touchscreen controls basically. So you can know that, as far as you might expect it to see how there are some comparisons between these multitude of versions throughout, so I thought it was worth mentioning throughout. And I don't know if you noticed already is that, yet again, much like how it does in the previous videos, that sometimes my computer lags all the goddamn time today. Which even then, I don't know if something's wrong about it, but although it seems to work just fine, but every time when I was trying to record something yet again, it always attempts to lag my frame rate, or in this case, lag, you know, just lags in general. Anyways, folks, then we move on to the final track based over from Super Monkey Ball. And that was the forms of Monkey Targets, heavily influenced as Pirates Ocean? Okay, I did not extend in that.
Roll up, speed fans! Strap in for today's Super Monkey Race! Well, given what I know about this course, I'm betting someone's going for a swim before the race is done.
Oh jeez, the sun right there is almost freaky. almost very creepy to the likes of, well, I'm not going to mention about this, because even then though that I found it to be a little bit of too much embarrassment in my life. But anyway. Anyways, here we go at Monkey Target, based off of Monkey Ball's most popular minigames on the entirety of the Super Monkey Ball history. Specifically for the ones in the first game and the second game, and even Deluxe as a result. Which are forms of Monkey Target, which I have to admit though right away, I absolutely enjoyed Monkey Target on Monkey Ball 1, especially in Monkey Ball 2, because in Monkey Ball 2, incarnation of Monkey Target, you do have a multitude of versions of it. Like, you can either play it by yourself with the simply just, you know, deal with one ball, or you can able to actually play it with yourself, but with 5 balls, which even then though, I found to be really cool idea to actually bring up 5 monkey balls all at once. So even then though, I thought to myself, that's actually a pretty cool idea. And of course I give the deluxe version some credit for to actually just, you know, contain most of those contents between Monkey Ball 1 and Super Monkey Ball 2 content already in all in one package, which even then, I have to admit that I was really impressed. Although there's only 2 exceptions, mind you, which is the forms of Super Monkey Ball Adventure, because it feels like rehashed, or not to mention it's way too much emphasis on laziness of how the fact that the environment works out to be. Which I'm gonna have to admit though right away, I'm not a big fan of Super Monkey Ball Adventure's version of Monkey Target, because it feels like not only do you able to actually just to realize how lazy it was, but also every single freaking round has its own load times. Oh jeez, why do I even forget about the load times? Jeez, it's almost like it's twice as worse than Sonic 06 when it comes to mission structure and all that stuff. Well, at least in Sonic 06, usually encourages you to able to wait through at least 4 load times in the town missions. But depends on what rounds you're going to be going through in Monkey Target and Monkey Ball Adventure. Jeez, let's just say if you run into 8 rounds, you're gonna have to go for, I would say 9 load times, I would imagine about this, because, actually no way, let me count with my, calculations. I'm assuming you're gonna have to run through 8 load times in one particular set of 8 rounds. I mean, jeez, that's the most disturbing way I'm gonna have to say this much until now. And, anyways, enough about that, and I'm not really keen on Monkey Ball Banana Blitz for incarnation of Monkey Target, because it feels like, I don't know, it's incredibly loose and also incredibly unbalanced. Like, obviously Monkey Ball Banana Blitz has utilized motion controls for the Nintendo Wii, which I get that, but unfortunately though, it doesn't pay too much my attention to it, unlike the most beloved classical, the first Super Monkey Ball variation, including the likes of Super Monkey Ball 2 variation 2, and even Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, don't forget. So anyway though, but again, not much else to say about this particular stage. There's one ending section that I've already established that before, that there's one little moment where you're gonna have to be very cautious about driving and all that stuff. I mean, you see why when we get to the very end of this particular stage. As you can tell in the background, this is heavily influenced on Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz, of one of those party games, which I have no idea why I put that on there, even though I could potentially originally try to go for Ultra Heaven from the likes of the 10th and final world in Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz, after when you, let's just say, complete 9 of those worlds without using any continues. So, anyway though, so yeah, this is the part I was talking about. We need to be very cautious with, not only do you able to drift slightly, but also you need to actually hold down the trigger button at simultaneously. But at the same time, when you get to these little sharp corners you're gonna have to drift on, you're gonna have to be sure you need to let go of the accelerate button slightly, so just in case you don't overshoot yourself and just going down to the bottomless pit below, or even fall down to the level. So, first worth mentioning throughout. So now we hit on to the final track in the game, not counting the DLC, of course, mind you, because it's entirely optional, if those of you might have missed it. Now see forms of the Thunder deck in the Final Fortress for a third and final time.
A huge hello from Final Fortress. Buckle up for some serious race action. Looks like we've got ourselves one of the twistiest, turniest courses ever.
Sadly, I don't have any luck with my Sonic Rush soundtrack selection. Probably because I haven't paid too much on shopping mode. But anyway, let's get started with Thunder Deck. I think this is more accurately the last and possibly the, well, as I mentioned earlier, the final track in the game, not counting the DLC, mind you. But anyways, as far as I'm aware, this is probably one of the more difficult stages in Final Fortress, actually, in my opinion. I mean, it's nothing too much difficult or anything like that. Besides, there's actually a shortcut you can actually perform on this particular stage, where you're going to need to use the speed shoots in order to actually just, you know, cut through these particular curves and all that stuff. I think that's how you're supposed to activate the shortcut way, which even then, that might actually work. So, here's my problematic with this particular, what makes this track so difficult compared to the Turpine Loop, especially Dark Arsenal itself. Because basically, when we get to the very end of this particular course, there's actually this little, you know, I've already pointed things out though, it's the fact that they always put you up with those little sharp curves. This is that curve right there that always attempts to bug me off. Every time I'm trying to drift off at that point, you know, I've always attempted to bash onto walls all the time, which even then though, that can really tick me off sometimes. But even then, but again, in order to actually just make the drift so easier, is the fact that you're gonna have to let go of the accelerate button slightly. So even then, just in case you don't want to get bashed into a wall all the goddamn time. So even then, I highly suggest you do that. So, in regardless of anything else on this particular stage, it feels almost exactly similar to Turbine Loop, and especially Dark Arsenal, but except the noticeable differences this time is the forms of, well, first oh, you gotta be kidding me. First off is that there's no giant Titan robots getting in your waist this time around though, but instead we got replaced as those dangerous hazards involved in this stage, and also involves of these cannonball shots. Every time when you see these cannons are firing something, you do need to dodge them, because even then if you don't dodge that well enough, then chances are you're going to get spin outs. So, first worth mentioning for that part, and good thing I've got my shield with me, even though granted it's gone with me, so that means I can get myself my protections. So yeah, how about that then? And of course I've got my horn with me. I have no idea what's going on with this particular odd sound going on here, with this little tick 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 tick. I have no idea how that sound has been coming from, but even then I'll definitely have to find things out for myself. But even then, as far as like, I should have wasted that, because you know I've already got myself my speed shoes as far as I might as well add, but unfortunately I've wasted that for that shortcut over there. Even though I could potentially try to go for that, but unfortunately I didn't get my chance. So anyway though, but again, you know, not much else to say about this point, ladies and gentlemen, because you know that we're going through almost pretty much almost towards the end of the game, actually, when it comes to the Let's Play itself, and even we're onto the final cup in the Grand Prix mode. Now, for those of you probably wondering why I might do the expert mode, I really don't know just yet, because I might as well actually just think about it for my own time, excluding all the versions I've had throughout, but even then, that's as far as I can tell from that part. But yeah, that's all I could really just try to. No! Oh, I was in third place. God, that stupid red missile, especially this curved turn point at the very end. God, that was the most toughest part about this level for me. Okay, 1100 and 635 second miles points. Even though, again, not much, but some miles will still take them. Now, as far as I'm aware, is that I'm presuming I'll get a staff credit sequence after this sequence is done. Although I may be wrong. Actually, I might as well not be, because I think I've pretty much gone through the credit sequence on the options menu. I mean, you see why. Third place goes to Dr. Eggman. Second place goes to Amigo. Seriously? Exact same opponents. And number one, obviously, goes to Sonic the Hedgehog. The fastest thing alive, as you probably already know. And that was it. That was it for Grand Prix in Sonic and SEGA All-Stars Racing. So, with that being said, folks, we're gonna have to end things off here. So tune us next time on Let's Play Sonic and SEGA All-Stars Racing. Is the fact that we're going to be showcasing off the extra stuff of how this game offers to be, like DLC, license mode, shopping mode, mission mode briefly, and also time trials, multiplayer, and all other modes. So yeah, first worth mentioning throughout. So yeah, see you guys next time for that. Later, fellas. Oh, I can't believe it.